Welcome, Yuri. Welcome, Yuri, to this session, Talking Photo Books.
Thanks a lot.
You chose a book with a strong personal connection, which is wonderful. The book is called Venezia 79, La Fotografia. It's the catalogue of an exhibition of the same name, an exhibition that took place in Venice in 79. You told me it was the first exhibition you visited on your own. That is, you traveled to Venice and spent a day or perhaps several days visiting the different venues of this exhibition. Actually, I have a catalogue, which is just an extract of the main catalogue of the Italian photography section, which is
much thinner, definitely.
Thinner than the whole catalogue, and we put it aside. Okay. The exhibition was all over the city in different venues, as I said, and presented an overview of 20th century photography.
Yes.
The catalogue comprises all the sections. There were 25 sections, if I understood right, and brought together the work of photographers, far more men than women, mostly from Europe and the US, but there were sections on Japan and Latin America too.
Indeed.
So what was so fascinating about being in Venice and visiting this photo exhibition?
Well, it was a personal experience, of course. First trip by myself, visiting an exhibition. And I had an idea of doing a lot with photography in my personal life. I wanted to become a photographer, actually. I participated in demonstrations, I took pictures in demonstration, and people contacted me to publish these pictures in newspapers, etc. But I wanted to do also art photography a bit. And this exhibition provided me the broad perspective of photography, what you all can do with photography. So it's not just news, it's not just landscapes, it's history, it's aesthetics, it's perceptions, and it's perspectives of the world, Weltanschauung. And this was particularly fascinating for me because I was able to encounter how the exactly same thing can be seen from very different perspectives. And from there I started to see photography more as an expression of how to understand the world.
Yeah.
I was doing a course in philosophy in my schooling, and my professor was saying about aesthetics. And aesthetics comes from aestheticon, which is perception. And photography kicks off perception very heavily. And so, for instance, these pictures by Louis Hine impressed me really a lot. So the social history.
Which was just one, I stopped a little bit over here because here are all the sections of the exhibitions. And
he's one of the key figures.
And even the first one. And I can really picture you walking away with this heavy book.
Yes, very heavy,
and
indeed.
You told me and just told us that you wanted to become a photographer at the time, and yet you became a professor of urban sociology. So how do you
It's not so different, actually.
Not so much?
No, because you have to look at the city with specific eyes, and you can construct reality also through images.
So explain us, by the help of some of these pictures, how you do. How do you use photography in your research and teaching?
Well, in teaching in particular, I use pictures to show how cities were historically. So Louis Hine is one of the key photographers I use a lot when I speak about urbanization processes during industrialization. So the working conditions of of children, actually. And look at this in the mining industry.
And here we have a view of the city as such.
Yes, and how cities changed, so how people migrated from the countryside into the cities, how the living conditions were, and this was very impressive. Partly in the negative sense, because I saw how the living conditions of these people were disruptive for their identity. Can you imagine as a child in a mine? So showing this to our students has a deep impact. So this is one of the ways of using photography in teaching.
And it is interesting to see these two pictures side by side, because here you have children not working but playing.
Yeah.
And here you have perhaps the same. I guess it's at another place. Yeah, it is. Yeah. Deprived from playing around, or perhaps after. No, I don't think so. That after work they will play. Had a lot of energy to play around.
Probably not. But from here you can start talking about the living conditions of children then and now. You can contrast this, and you can picture. Okay, what do children of this age nowadays? And this contrast is extremely interesting also from the point of view of social rights, social inclusion. So also a sociological perspective can be very strong using this kind of pictures. So these are an entry into the whole social history of the city and of societies, actually.
And when we talked before, you told me that you really like to have a surprise effect with photography. What do you think? Do we find a picture where you would create such an effect of surprise?
Maybe here less. I like in particular Tina Modotti. So, for instance, the contrast between rich and poor, that was quite... so this is a second way of using pictures. So using pictures to denounce inequalities in cities. And Tina Modotti is one of my favorites for this, because she very clearly shows this contrast, the asymmetry in terms of power, in terms of wealth, in terms of health, in terms of social contacts, in terms of free time. So can you imagine the kids, the workers in mines, how much free time they have? Not much, really. And from that you can build up your teaching, addressing social justice issues, addressing how people construct everyday life, but also structural inequalities. So the very micro experience with the broad societal changes. And this is, I think, extremely fascinating. And pictures can help in this path somehow.
Yeah. So, for instance, here it's very clear. No,
it's very clear. Yes.
We have almost 3 parts of a picture. One where we have a worker who takes a rest, hopefully, or perhaps he
look at the shoes.
Yeah, perhaps he cannot even work anymore. Then we have a space for thought, and then we have something like an advertisement for a completely different section of society. They share the same place, the same city, perhaps. It's the first time that I see this over here. I can't really read it, but so there's perhaps even an indication where this is. So, this is also a picture that helps explain that in one place you have a lot of different.
This helps really a lot, because it helps the students becoming aware of inequalities and how they are played out in space. I'm interested in spatial relations.
Of course.
And actually spatial relations contribute to structure inequalities. And through pictures you can see. You can also see when this does not take place. And you can challenge students and ask, who do you think lives here? Would
we find a picture like that where you?
That's a good point. Let's see if we can.
Catherine
Besson, he is more. That's also a dramatic issue. It's about war and cities. I have now a seminar about war and sustainability, and it's really very. Let me see if. No, here there are not this kind. So from that, this is also about migration in cities.
Let me see. And this is a Kudelka, so
East European.
And it's.
But that's also living conditions of migrants in cities in the 60s. So
that's
not so far away.
That's one thing that you like to do, no? You explain me that you show the picture and you create a surprise by...
When was taken it? People, from this picture, usually people think about last century.
It's like Heinz, I mean, who did take pictures at the beginning.
But actually it's only 60 years ago. And that's quite scary. Because they say, it's not so far away. I was already born in that time. So what would have happened if I would have born in this context? And from there you can start again. So it's a meiotic during the teaching. So kicking off students to think about counterfactual. So would have been if industrialization would have taken place in a different way, etc.
By the way, I see here we are in this section, which was a thematic section, one of 12 thematic sections on images des hommes, so images of people. One of these.
So
sections.
not just men.
In this case, yes. Here's some more impressionists.
Children playing. That's I think maybe in France probably. Or nice pictures. So
this is Douaneau, no?
Douaneau. He's also very nice. He's like Henri Cartier-Bresson, catching the moment, the carpe diem, which I love.
And of course, somehow
a different perspective.
Funny perspective, right? A situation that is funny.
Is it from him, the picture of a kiss with a dog looking? Or is it Henri Cartier-Bresson? So two people at a bar in Paris kissing,
and there's a dog.
The dog
don't remember the dog.
Is looking.
Don't remember the dog. I remember the kiss.
The kiss is of course iconic.
And there's Douaneau. I think some pictures of Douaneau. So this is something that is really urban, right? Both pictures.
It's urban and it's race, it's segregation, so pictures can show this very much as well. Here in Austria, where you hardly see people of color, actually these kind of pictures might kick off again a lot of thinking historically and so.
This is
different. Buddhist.
And the land. So here we enter the land. I will skip the land and perhaps we go to some Italian photography. So you explained how you use photography in teaching. I know that you also use it in research, or did use it in research.
I use it in research, and I use the results of research in teaching. So I take pictures, for instance, of social housing, and I particularly like social housing. In Vienna, from that point of view, is a fantastic example, because social housing is not targeted to the very poor. And you take pictures of buildings that are for limited profit housing associations. And you ask students, particularly students coming from abroad, who is living here? And they say middle classes. And actually, it's not middle classes. It's also people who have a low income, who cannot afford living in prime buildings. But actually, they look like prime buildings. And in particular for students in other countries, in Italy, in Greece, in Portugal, in Spain, we're extremely surprised about that.
What I found interesting in this Italian photography section was that actually there is a lot of photographs on high society or more luxury or exclusive living or hotel, in this case, hotel conditions. And I didn't really find pictures that show us social housing. In none of the, except the very old ones, which,
In this exhibition, there were actually very little. But for instance, here Lisetta Carmi, who is, by the way, the aunt of a very good friend of mine, she pictured other people, people who had a very different lifestyle, different from normal, so to say. So transvestites, prostitutes, etc., who had a very lively cultural life in the city. And she died just a few years back, and a lot of exhibitions around Italy, Turin, Genoa, where she was active, and very nice, actually.
So, we're still in the Italian section, which makes sense, because I wanted to ask you a last question. So in 1979, when this exhibition took place, it, as I understood, also wanted to bring a new impulse to the city. It was supported by the UNESCO, or co-organized by the UNESCO, this exhibition. what was your experience of Venice at the time? Did you experience or see or inequality, social difference, or what was?
The big experience I had of Venice at that time was we were in austerity times. 79 was the second oil shock. We couldn't use the car every day. We had to alternate because fuel was extremely expensive, and a lot of prices increased, etc. And Venice had the fascination of decadence, the beauty of decadence, a bit of a Thomas Mann, Death in Venice, Tod in Venedig. I liked it, but I experienced also the sharp contrast of the people living there in bad housing, actually, except the rich people on the Canal Grande. But the normal people were living in houses which were very humid, dark, but they were living in Venice, one of the most beautiful cities in the world. So that was a price to pay.
Interesting. Yeah. It would be interesting because this exhibition, which took place during 3 months, hosted around 50 workshops for young photographers like you at the time. It would be, and of course they went out to the city and took.
Would have been interesting to see what they saw.
Would really be interesting.
I must still have some pictures.
You have some pictures, okay.
But in Urbino. So I couldn't bring them. Otherwise I would have brought them. Because
so thank you very much. That's for another catalogue.
Yes,
Pictures
definitely.
from 79.
Thanks to you. It was a pleasure.